In this lesson, I'll show you how to use the Blur, Sharpen, and Smear tool in Sketchbook Pro. To begin, let's go to our Interface Lagoon and open our brush tools. And let's go to the first tool, the Blur tool. Double-click on the Blur tool. As you see in the brush properties, you can adjust the Blur tool both by size and with strength. And you can see how aggressive the Blur tool can be. So let's keep this relatively light in strength and in size, and let's save that to see where we are. It's a little big, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use our Resize Brush tool, and we'll go ahead and put our cursor in the middle and bring that down in size. It's something we can work with. What I'm going to do is, here's a keypad on the phone drawing. We're going to take some of these imperfections on this gray keypad, and by brushing that tool over it, it'll actually make the color more uniform. You see how it kind of takes away some of the splotchiness and the small dots that occurred when I did the original painting. And what you can do is you can also use the Resize Brush tool to resize it so you can get into some of these small areas. And that's the Blur tool. The tool next to it is the Sharpen tool. As you double click on that, you also have a series of adjustments. You can adjust the size of the tool, the actual strength of the tool, and the sharpness. So let's go ahead and keep this relatively strong, and we want to make sure that it gives us a pretty sharp line, but not too sharp. Now let's take a look at the size. Go ahead and save that. It looks a little big still, so again, like what we did with the Blur tool, go ahead and place your tool inside the Resize Brush tool, resize that, and what you're going to do is you're going to look for those obscure lines, or the lines that are not all the way in focus. And we're going to take this object line right here on the outside edge of the phone, and as I brush across it, you'll see the line become much crisper. Now, sometimes you might catch areas of the drawing that you don't want to have crisp. What you can do with that is go ahead and do your undo, go to your interface and click on undo, resize your brush so it's a little bit smaller, and then rebrush right over that line. Let's do that again. Let's go ahead and move our Resize Brush tool next to us so that it's handy. Let's go ahead and open that up just a little bit more. And what we're going to do is we're going to sharpen up this small cut line at the bottom of the phone. Now, it got a little bit away from us, so what we're going to do is go back and undo that. Resize the brush so a little smaller. There we have it. The next tool I'd like to share with you is the Smear tool. It's located just above the Sharpen tool. Let's go ahead and double click on that. And again, you have adjustments. You can adjust in size, and you can adjust it by the amount of smear. Let's leave it there and see where we are, because we can always go back to the Resize Brush tool and adjust it. That looks like a good size. Now, there are two things you can do with the Smear tool. You can smear color. Let's go out to this background color and place it on there. And you see how it works the color? And it actually works it and blends it in to a background. That's wonderful if you're doing large pieces of work that you need to blend and smear and bring colors together. And another thing that it also can do is that it can actually distort or change the shape of an object. So as I place my tool here next to my telephone, I can actually alter the shape. And again, you can alter this by going back to your brush properties to adjust the strength and the size of the smear. To close, the Blur tool is perfect for touching up areas of a drawing by blending elements. The Sharpen tool is good for crisping up details such as lines, and the Smear tool allows you to blend color and reshape parts of your drawing.